Hi everybody, this is Ed Puzzle number 30, and we're going to talk about category number 4 today in this Ed Puzzle. And so we're going to talk about the different strategies. So one of the strategies that I want to talk to you about is the solutions. You're going to have a few questions about the solutions, which are also known as the zeros, which are also known as the x-intercepts, also known as the roots. So this Ed puzzle will be how you can be marked present just by starting it. It will also replace either bb.8 or bb.10. Whichever one you started but didn't finish. If you have a 0 for one of those, it will replace that one. So remember that your solutions are where the points on the x-axis. So this is your x-axis. So wherever your graph crosses the x-axis, those would be your solutions. Say that you have a graph like this, the parabola. This is for the quadratics. So wherever it crosses the x-axis, like right here and right here, those would be your solutions. So if this was point, I don't know, 4 and this was -2, those would be your two solutions. Okay, so let's do a practice problem with that. It's number 29. Okay. Actually, let's start with 37. We'll go back to that one. Okay, so here we have an equation. F of x is the same thing as 0, equals 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. So we're going to put that in our decimals, and we're going to see what the two zeros are. Okay, here's the other thing I want to remind you about, which we talked about in Ed Puzzle 27. So these are the factors, -2 and 4. But if we had to write them as factors, so those are the zeros. Okay, -2, 4, which is what you had to do on bb.8 and bb.10. If you had to write them as factors, you're writing them, this is what makes the equation equal 0. So if I had to write an expression to make it equal to 0, I change the sign. So the factor would be x plus 2 and x minus 4. You change the sign. So this one was negative, so it's positive as a factor. This one's positive, and as a factor, it's negative. So let me show you what decimals would look like. Oh, the example. Okay, so here is the equation, and we're going to put it into our decimals graphing calculator. So you don't have to put the f of x part. That's the same thing as y. So it'd be 2. To make the squared at the top, you're going to press a little keyboard, and you're going to press the squared. What was it? Minus 3x minus 5. Okay, so let me zoom in. Here's your x-axis. Wherever it crosses the x-axis, that's where your zeros are at. So right here and right here. So, oh, I typed it in wrong. Oh no, it must be 3. Okay, so it's right here, 2.5 and -1. So that's where my zeros are at. -1, what you see that is your 0. Okay, so you can see right here, the one that has a 0 for -1 is answer choice C and answer choice A. This one, the other one is a positive 2.5, so it has to be C. And if you're not sure how I did that, watch. 2.5, or you could make that into a fraction. It's going to be 5/2, which is the other answer choice. Okay, so let me have you try one for practice so you can find the two zeros. So for this one, I would like for you, it's equal to 0, so that means you can go ahead and graph it. So go ahead and please put this into decimals. So stop the video, put this into decimals, tell me what the solutions are. So what did you get for the solutions? Let's see if you're correct. So I don't have to do equals 0. That just means I can graph it. It's already set for me to graph. The 1 divided, I'm going to put 1 slash 3x squared minus 3. And I can see my 2 zeros are 3 and negative 3. And ask for the positive one, so I would put 3. Okay, good job if you got it right. Good job if you got the 2 zeros. Let's do another one. This is number, oh, it's the one I showed you first. Here we go. So if you notice on this one is not equal to 0, and it's not equal to y equals. So we have to solve this one. So let me show you how we solve it. Let me write it down. So it either has to be in y equals, 0 equals, or f of x equals. If it's not, then you have to solve. Okay, so like the one that we have to solve it. So let me write it down. Okay, so it's not equal to 0, it's not equal to y, it's not equal to f of x, so I have to move this. So to move this, it's right now a positive. When I switch it over, it's going to be a minus 32. It changes sign. So now I can graph this. I can put this into my graphing calculator. The 2 parentheses, everything like that. Okay, I just had to move it over to the other side to make sure it's equal to 0. So let's put this into my graphing calculator. Do the same thing, stop the video, put this in your graphing calculator. Let me move this down so you can see it. Put that into your graphing calculator. So what did you get for the zeros? Let's see if you're correct. Let's see if you are correct, if you got the zeros correctly. The only thing about this is you have to put it in exactly as it is on paper. Okay, there's a 0 at 3 and the other 0 is at 11. So for this one, now if it answers, oh, there are my answers right there. Perfect, good job. All right, let's try another one. Let's see the solutions. So this one gives you the graph already, and you're going to have to tell me the solutions. So I'm going to zoom in. You'll stop the video. You'll find the solutions. Okay, so let me show you the answer choices now. And you'll tell me what are the solutions in if you were to do the multiple choice. Okay, here we go. So which one is it? A, B, C, or D? Okay, so my solutions are right here between the 0 and 1 and between the 1 and 2. So it's not going to be 3. It's not touching at 3. It's not touching at 9. It's not touching at 2. So it has to be 1/3 and 3/2. If you're not sure, because that word, like, what is that number right there in the middle, right? What's 1/3? You could put it into your decimals. 1 divided by 3, 0.333, which is between 0 and 1. So good job if you got that one right. Let's do another example. So anywhere they cross the x-axis, those are your zeros, those are your solutions. Okay, right here. So let me zoom in. Okay, stop and put that in your decimals graphing calculator. Find the zeros and see which one of these is a factor. Remember, it has to cross to the x-axis wherever the graph crosses the x-axis. So which one is it? Let's see if you're right. So I'm going to type in my equation. X squared. Is it plus 15 or minus 15? Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so those are my zeros. There and there. So I'm going to see which ones are my factors. Remember, your factors go through the zeros. So 3x minus 2, that goes, if I have zoom in, that goes perfectly through my 0. So that's my answer. But let me show you the other one so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to type in the next one. See, that one does not. It goes through the green graph, but it has to cross this 0 perfectly, and it doesn't. It's to the side. See the black one? It doesn't hit this or this point perfectly, so that's not a factor. Let me show you the other one. X equals 2. See, you don't even see it. It's like way over here. Let me try the other one. The other one's also. See, that one's the blue one. It doesn't hit this 0 or the other 0, so you would know that those are not correct. So that's how you do the solutions. Let me show you the other strategy. So for the other strategy, that's when they're asking for the axis of symmetry and the vertex. So for the axis of symmetry, so the vertex is either the highest point or the lowest. If it's the highest, it's going to look like this. If it's the lowest, it's going to look like this. And I like to put a star so that you remember that for the vertex, it's the star, it's the highest or lowest point. Okay, it's the turning point. So there are my stars. This would be a maximum. The y value is the maximum. The minimum, the y value is the minimum. Okay, for the vertex, it's a x and y point. So the maximum is the y point and the minimum is a y value. Now the axis of symmetry is the line that goes through the star and it divides the graph into 2 equal parts. That's the axis of symmetry, that line. Now for the axis of symmetry, it's an up and down line. So because it's an up and down line, we write it as x equals, because it's an up and down line, like that. It's a vertical line. All right, so let me show you some examples. Make sure you copy this. This is from, I think, Ed Puzzle 23. So if you have a 0 for that, you can send me these notes and pick your 0. All right, let's look at this one. Oops. Okay, so here they're asking for the maximum, which means you find the vertex and it's the y value. So let me zoom in. So stop the video. What is the vertex? The x, comma, y. Okay, let's see if you're correct. So the highest point, it's not these are the zeros. So tell me the zeros. The zeros are -4 and +8. The vertex is the highest point. This right here is the highest point. It goes up to the highest and then it goes down. So this point right here, let me show you the x and y value. Okay, the x is 2. Even though I know that wasn't like super straight, the x is 2, comma, the y value. The y value is 9. So 2, comma, 9. Okay. Now, when they ask for the maximum, the answer would just be 9 because that's the y value. So good job. If they asked you for the axis of symmetry, it would be x equals the x value, which is 2. Good job, everybody. So let me pause this and show you a different one. All right, for this one, I want you to tell me the axis of symmetry. I'm sorry, tell me the vertex. the highest or lowest point. So let's see if you got it right. So it goes up to this point right here. The x is 2, the y is 6. So it's going to be 2, 6. Good job if you got it correct. Now tell me the axis of symmetry. Let me zoom out. What would be your axis of symmetry? So we said the vertex is 2, 8. So that means your axis of symmetry would be, let me write on here. So the highest point was 2, 6. So your axis of symmetry is going to be an x equals, because it's an up and down line, so it's going to be x equals 2. Good job if you got it correct. Let's do another one for practice. Now, sometimes they may not give you the graph, which means that you'll have to graph it yourself on Desmos to be able to see the graph. So like these points right here, they're asking which one has the vertex at 3, -7 and passes through 1, -10. So what I want you to do is pause the video, put these in your graphing calculator and see which one has the vertex at 3, -7. So you're going to put each one in your Desmos calculator. So stop the video. All right, which one is the answer? Let's see if you're correct. I'm going to start with the first one. Oops. Let me go back to my problem. Oh. Okay, let me type these in here. So 3/4, oops, parentheses x plus 3 squared plus 7. So I'm going to have to zoom out just a minute. Okay, there it is. So my vertex is supposed to be at 3, 7. And right here, right here is my vertex. Okay, can you see it? Can you tell me what the vertex is for this problem? It's going to be this one right here. So the vertex is -3, 7. So that means A is not the correct answer because my vertex is supposed to be 3, -7. So let me type in the second one. The second one's negative. And it's supposed to be minus right here. Okay. Where is it? Right there. Let me zoom in so we can see what the vertex is for this one. Let me move that up. There we go. Okay, so tell me the vertex, please. That's the highest point. And this one is -3, -7, not the correct answer. Let's type in C. Okay, there is my graph. If I'll just move it down. Come on. Okay, let me zoom in. What is the vertex? Let's see if you're right. It is 3, +7. Still not my answer. Let's type in the last one. And we see it down there. And there it is at 3, -7. So good job. Now, let's just say that you had 2 that had the same vertex. Here's how you can check. You click on the little circle. You click on the table. And then you find one. And you can see here it's the same point as this. Okay. So anytime you have an equation, you can make a table and see if check the points. Now, let me show you 2 more things very quickly, which is the table, which is the strategy I just showed you. And then I'll show you how you can check a lot of your answers on Desmos. So let's look at the table. Let's look at some examples when you can use the table, okay? You go to Desmos. You click the circle at the top. It looks kind of like a star. And then you click on the table. So let's check it out. Let's look at number 7. and 47. Let's go to 47 since we're already over here in the neighborhood. Come on. Okay, right here. Do you see how they give you an equation? And notice that it starts with P parentheses the X, gives you the equation, and then it says P parentheses the 11. So the difference between when it had the X and the 11, it's telling you the X is 11. Okay, anytime it does that, we can put it into our decimals calculator. Watch. Watch and learn. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in my calculator. Let's put the equation first. I don't have to do the P of X, but I'm gonna type in 5 do the same thing on yours. Pause it. So 5 parentheses X squared plus 1 plus 16. So I'm gonna click on the little circle at the top. Click on the table. And it's telling me for 11. So here my X is 11, so the X goes here. Type in 11, and that should be my Y value. And so there's my answer. Good job. Let's look at another one where you have to do something very, very similar. Number 39. Okay, see how it gives you the table? So what I want you to do is I want you to type these equations into your calculator and see which one makes that table. Okay, you're going to type those and see which one makes the table. So you just need 1 point, really. Let me zoom out just a little bit. So go ahead and stop the video, put those into your decimals calculator, and see which one makes the table. So let's see. Close out of here. Type this, 99. Don't do the T. Do this X. 58. Press enter. I'm just looking at the table, so I don't need to see the graph. It shows here that 10 is supposed to be 2,460. It's not the right answer. Close out of that one. Let's type in the next one. Negative 4.9x squared plus 295x plus 0.06. Let's make our table. For 10, it should be 2,460. Okay, so far so good. Let me type in the one for 15 just to be sure. And we're getting the same thing. Let's type in one more. Let's do 20 just to make sure. Good job. Yeah, good job. That one ends up being perfect. I can type in the other ones, but that one is the one that's correct. Let me show you another one. So we're just using our table for this one. We're typing in the equations, and then we are finding the one that looks just like the one in the problem. Okay. So here's your equation. So put this into decimals. And here they're actually giving you 416, but that's the Y value, okay? These are your X value. So you're gonna see which one gives you the Y value. And I know that because right here it's telling you the total seats is the Y value and X is the rows. So you're gonna type in these for X and see which one do you get the Y value of 416. So let me zoom in, pause the video, put this into your decimals, make the table, see where you get 416. Don't type in 416. Type in 32, type in 13, 20, 16. Let's see. You got it right. What did you get for your answer? Well, let's check your answer. Let me move this down just a little bit. Why do you have to give me a hard time? Yeah, that's not moving. Okay, here we go. All right, so 2x squared minus 6x. Let's look at the table. Click at the little circle, click on the table. I don't type in 416, I type in 32. Nope. I type in 13. Nope. I type in 20. Nope. I type in 16. And that's it. Good job if you got it right. One last strategy. Now, this is when you have changes. This is when you have changes, what we call transformations. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to change the equation like it tells you in the problem, and then check the graph. And it's either going to give you a graph or description. Okay? So let's try it out. You can do this. Just follow the instructions that it tells you in the problem, and then check which one gives you the correct graph. So, okay, so let's practice. So for this one, they're asking you to change the a and the c to be something less than 0. So I'm going to say, okay, well, what's less than 0? -3 is less than 0. X squared minus 4, and I'm going to see which graph matches the one I have. So this is what it looks like, and let's see. Well, F looks kind of like it. It's facing down, but mine's under 0, so it can't be F. Definitely not G, because G is upward. J is at 0. Mine's under 0. It had to be less than 0. So it has to be H, because it's facing down and it's under 0. So you're just following the instructions that it tells you in the problem. Let's see another problem where you're just following the instructions and then you're making the graph to see which one looks just like it. It's number 24 that I want you to see. If this will load. Okay, so they give you a graph, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to type in F, this G, at 7x squared. And you're going to type that into your Desmos calculator. And you're going to see which one matches the description here. Okay, so you have x squared. It told you that in the problem. So x squared, there's your parent function. And then here's 7x squared. So look at the blue one. Is the blue one more narrow, wider, up, or down? To me, that is skinnier. That's more narrow. So you're going to choose F. Okay. So anytime you have these type of problems, you're going to just put them into your Desmos calculator, and you're going to see what the graphs look like. You'll just follow the instructions that they give you. So let's practice. Here's one I want you to practice with. Okay, so please try this one. There's your original. Type in f of x. You don't have to type in the f of x, just x squared. Type in this part and see which one's correct. So stop the video, put them in your Desmos calculator. What's the answer? Let's see if you're correct. So I have the first one already. I'm going to type in the second one. So it looks like it moved to the right. And so there is your answer. Good job. Now, you're just going to type in and you're going to see what's going on. Okay. So let me have you do some for practice. All right, let's look at this one. Let me zoom in just a little bit. go ahead and stop the video. So what is your answer for number 8? Let's do another one. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you can see the equation. So which one is the new graph? Okay, let's try another one. What is the positive solution? Stop the video. Go ahead, tell me the answer, please. All right, so here's your next question. Let me zoom in just so you can see the answer choices and some of the points on the table. Stop the video. Go ahead, tell me the answer, please. Okay, there's the equation. Let me zoom in, pause the video. Now tell me which one is that graph. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, it's pretty much the same thing. There are your equations. There's your graph. So pause the video. What is the answer? Okay, go ahead and put that into decimals. And then tell me your answer. So what is the answer? Okay, they want to know the solution. So pause. Tell me your answer. Try this one. Equivalent, remember what we said about equivalent? Try this one. Pause it. So what did you get for your answer? Okay, try this one. Remember equivalent. So pause it. What is your answer? All right, thank you very much. And make sure that you are working on your project. We have one more Ed puzzle to review for your STAAR test. Good job.